Listen, the only reason I'm going out of my way to tell any of you this is because the story Shane, the killer, is starting to piss me off. My real name is Shane, Arkansas, also known as Shane, the killer. And this is how I met Chef, the reason I look the way I do, and why I want to kill him. When I heard that a new family had moved in across the street, I wasn't that surprised. It was a nice neighborhood, and the house was relatively cheap considering what it was. I was about 13, 14 when everything went to hell. I never really talked to Chef when he moved in. To be frank, I never really talked to him until that night. But it's too soon to talk about that now. My first impression of Chef was that he was a good kid. Probably got nice grades, never got into fights, maybe even a cool guy if he opened up to someone. His brother Lou seemed like he put family first, by the way he saw with his brother on the sidewalk. Of course I was just guessing at the time, and really didn't put much thought into my analysis because I was getting ready for school when I looked out of the window, and I was running late, which was unusual for me at the time in my life because I was hardly ever late for anything, especially school. I wasn't surprised when I saw Randy and his tushies go up to Chef and Lou on the stupid skateboard of his. Randy was nothing but a bully. He always picked on anyone who was smaller than him. He was even the reason why my parents drove me to school instead of letting me take the bus like everyone else. Everyone had their lunch money or some kind of cash given to Randy and his goons because of some toll that he demanded from everyone. When I saw Randy talking to them through the window, I just looked away. I have better things to do than watch another kid hand over his money to Randy. But curiosity got the better of me and I looked up a few seconds later. What I saw left me speechless. Chef was standing now, and it looked like Randy already had what he wanted. Just sit down, I thought. Don't be stupid. Then I saw Chef punch Randy in the face and break his wrist. Oh my God, I whispered. Then I yelled, "You idiot!" My parents ran down the stairs and asked what happened. Then they looked outside and saw what was going on. Chef had already cut the skinny guy. I think his name was Key. And he went down screaming. Troy only went down with a single punch. Since my house was across the street from where Chef and his brother were sitting, with the front of the house having big windows, we saw the whole thing. Or at least I did. My parents came in after the part when Randy stole their wallets, so they didn't know the whole truth. It was disturbing watching Chef fight. He wasn't showing himself too much. I felt a knot in my stomach, like something was happening that shouldn't be. And from the look on Louis' face, Chef didn't do this kind of thing often. Next thing I know, I hear sirens and the new kids pulled up there. The cops came around with the bus driver to check on the victims. It seemed they were going to be alright, considering the amount of crap kicked out of them. When my parents drove me to school, they told me very clearly that they didn't want me talking to Chef. Ever. I did not disagree with them. I had art first period, so I didn't see chef until close to the end of school. I can still see the colors in my artwork if I think hard enough. But when I try to look at anything now, it all seems grey. I guess that's the price someone pays for losing their innocence. I didn't see Chef until the final period of the day. When I did, he seemed off. At first I thought he was faking the show so people wouldn't suspect him for the crime that he did, but he was really enjoying himself. It wasn't because he was excited to be at school, I could tell that much from him. The smile he wore looked sadistic to me. It was the smile of a madman. The second the bell rang, I pulled out of the doors as fast as I could. Nobody but me knew what Chef really was. A freak. The next day seemed to be passing without incidents at first. Then I saw the police car in front of Chef's house. Looks like they got you, I thought. Nobody could gotten away with something like that, with the neighborhood watching and everything. But I was wrong with who they arrested. Instead of coming out with Chef like I expect them they would, the police came out with Lou, his brother. I was barely forming the thought of Chef framing his brother for the assault when he came out of the house yelling at Lou. Lou, tell them I did it. I was able to hear him this time because the front door was open to my house. I couldn't hear what Lou said in reply to Chef's outbursts, but it was definitely not what Chef wanted to hear. A few seconds later, the police drove off with Lou, and Chef was left outside with his mother. A few minutes later, she went inside the house and left Chef outside. Although I couldn't hear him from across the street, I could tell that he was crying. But who wouldn't be in that situation? The next day, rumors were spreading like wildfire about Lou. It took so long for the rumors to get started because everyone was afraid to talk about Randy getting his ass handled to him. When it was revealed that he wouldn't be coming back to school for a few days, everyone decided to take advantage of that fact and enjoy it as much as possible, and lots of random bullshit started popping up. I heard Lou cut off Keith's arm. Oh yeah, well, I heard that Lou hit Troy so hard in the stomach that he ripped up blood. That's nothing. I heard that he punched Randy so hard in the nose that it came out the back of his head, and etc, etc, etc. Personally, I didn't want anything to do with Chef or his brother, but he just looked so alone and upset that I had to do something. So I wrote him a note telling him that he had a friend in this place and that I was going to testify at Lou's trial about what really happened. I left the note at his desk, signed with the letter G, before class started, and then left the room. When I came back, Chef was sitting at his desk and the note was gone. Saturdays rolled around and I was home alone with my parents who were at work. The kid next door was having a birthday party, and at the time I left my window open because I wanted a nice breeze in my room while I did my homework. But the kids were getting so loud that I decided to close my window. I was about to close it when I saw Chef playing with the kids. He was running around wearing one of those fake cowboy hats and carrying a toga. He looks so ridiculous, I had to laugh. Maybe he isn't a monster I think he is. I thought ashamed of myself for suspecting he could have ever been one. As I was closing the window, I saw Randy, Key and Troy jump over the fence on their skateboards to where Chef was. Not again, I say to the open window. I saw Randy and Chef exchange small talk, but I couldn't hear what they say over the sound of the kids yelling and screaming. Then Randy rushed at Chef and tackled him. I was about to grab the phone and dial 911 when I heard Troy and Kate shout, "No one interrupts or guts will fly."